Right after his warm-up, 2 inmates closed in. He looked around. The guards were all deliberately avoiding his eyes. One flashed a hidden blade, the other a shank of his own. He understood immediately. He stayed calm and quietly turned the gym gear into armor under his shirt. In his hands, the gym itself became a weapon. His skills were too good. The inmates got nothing, and he dropped them all in seconds. That inmate was Armando, Mike's son. Mike put him away 4 years ago. Later, Marcus's face twisted in pain and he collapsed. Mike rushed over. Mike started CPR. In Marcus's vision, he was standing on an empty beach. In that vision, Marcus met Captain Howard, dead for years, who told him it wasn't his time. James McGrath, a former DA agent now working for the cartel. Beside him was a banker who laundered money for the cartel. McGrath tossed a business card onto the table. The name on it was Captain Howard. McGrath ordered the banker to wire money into an account under Howard's name. Then McGrath called over the banker's girlfriend and threatened him. Refuse and his wife would learn about her. The banker caved instantly. The banker wired $20 million into Howard's account. As soon as the transfer went through, McGrath killed the banker on the spot, then killed his girlfriend too. Marcus and Mike burst into the station and interrupted the meeting because neither of them believed the accusation. Howard would never do this, but the FBI director called the evidence airtight. 2 weeks earlier, a cartel banker was killed. Police found his phone at the scene. It had Howard's contacts, chat logs, and offshore accounts. Will and Martin weren't buying it. The two wanted the truth themselves to clear Captain Howard's name. They started with Mike's son and drove straight to the prison. Armando had served 4 years in a Florida federal prison. Armando revealed that Howard had never worked with the cartel. He had been secretly investigating it. Someone inside the department put him on that hit list. Armando saw him once but never knew his name. McGrath's men break into Howard's old phone and computer within minutes. But the second they crack the password, the computer auto-sends a file. The file goes straight to Will, a video from Captain Howard himself. They pull over immediately and hit play. It is Howard's final message. A secret message meant only for them. Howard knew his days were numbered. There is a mole, and Howard left one key name behind. McGrath traces the phone signal and pins the recipients, Mike and Marcus. He doesn't have them killed instead. His men shadow their every move. Will and Martin soon find Fletcher at a suburban gallery. Fletcher's hacking skills got him recruited by Howard, so they get straight to business. But Fletcher dances around it. He only says he hid Howard's investigation file. He won't give the location, so Martin pulls a gun on him. Fletcher knows they're serious. But right as he starts talking, the shooter is Douglas. Martin's the first to notice him retreating. Martin charges gun raised, and Douglas's men open fire to hold them off. Douglas escapes under their noses. They return to the gallery. While searching, an agent spots a QR code hidden inside a mural. They scan the code, and hacker Dorn unlocks something else inside. Another video from Howard, laying out his full investigation starting 9 years ago. He'd caught police brass meeting with dealers and quietly built a case. Then Howard revealed where he hid the report, in code nobody else understood. Mike paused, then knew exactly where Howard meant. The day after the gallery attack, Will asked Locke to move his son somewhere safe after the attack. Locke hesitated but agreed. Under a heavy police escort, a man was loaded onto a Chinook. Will and Martin boarded after him, and immediately lost their weapons and radios. Seconds after takeoff, Douglas and his men walked into the cockpit. 1 sentence later, the pilot was dead. McGrath took Mike's gun from the lockbox. Marcus sensed trouble and approached. McGrath kicked the door open, dropped Marcus, then shot the guards with Mike's gun. Then he opened the rear ramp. Will rushed in and they started fighting. The helicopter dropped fast. A parachute deployed by accident and dragged a dealer out. He shoved Will off easily, jumped out and blew the charge on the engine. The chopper shook hard. The cage straps tore loose and Will dove to grab the rope. Will grabbed keys off a dead guard the second the cage opened. Luckily, they crashed into a lake. All 3 survived and swam up to the surface. Those 3 were Will, Martin, and a man, plus the recording Douglas forced from the pilot. They were certain Mike and Marcus were in on the drug deal. Judy gave the order. Catch all 3 at any cost online. The story exploded overnight. Overnight, Miami's legends became the guys everyone wanted gone. Police flooded the streets hunting them. McGrath also learned all 3 had survived. He put out a $5 million bounty across the underworld. Knowing they couldn't fight alone, they went to Tabitha, a club owner they had helped before. They wanted guns from the butcher for what was coming, and he agreed, all smiles. Then he clears the room and pulls a gun on Will's crew. She called in her people. The $5 million bounty mattered more than old favors. The gangsters drag all 3 outside, and they immediately plan their escape. They jump into a van parked nearby. The butcher raises his gun, so Martin scrambles and floors the car. He pins the butcher against another car while Armando smashes the window and opens fire. He drops several guys, but the butcher's men hurl Molotovs from the roof. The van catches fire, but Martin keeps driving. They kick the burning debris out just as Judy's team rolls up. She spots her father's killer in the van and doesn't hesitate. She opens fire. The fire reaches the engine, and when Martin yells, everyone bails out of the van. They slip past the cops and the gang again, then find Dorn, a computer whiz. Howard's tip says searching the police database should lead them to the drug dealer. Since a man saw the guy's face once, they print out photos of every suspect. A man sorts through them all, and finally spots the man they're after. Dorn pulls the file. The man is James McGrath, a former Army Ranger and DA agent. He shares everything they know, but Locke happens to see the call. Rita casually mentions Mike's discovery, and that invites serious trouble. Right after the call, Dorn spots armed gunmen on his surveillance feeds. They're outside Will and Martin's houses, so he calls them over. Both of them panic. Martin reaches his son-in-law Reggie and tells him to hide the family. Reggie moves fast. He hides the family in the closet, grabbing a pistol from the safe. Mike's phone still won't connect as gunmen slip into Marcus's house. But Reggie's a former Marine, smooth footwork, textbook tactical moves. He takes out all 9 gunmen storming the house while Martin watches the feed, thrilled. But Mike's calls to his wife keep going unanswered. Then someone knocks on the door. It is Kelly, Howard's granddaughter. Mid-conversation, Beth finally spots the phone on the table. She rushes over and picks it up. Too late, McGrath and his men have already slipped inside. The 2 women can't fight back and are captured. Douglas picks up the dropped phone. He tells Will, trade a man if you want them alive. Mike realizes McGrath moved the second he called Rita. That is no coincidence. Exposed, Locke drops the act completely. Right before suffocation, the elevator doors open. Dorn and Lisa rush in and subdue Locke. Using a voice changer, they feed Douglas a story. He blew it and exposed everyone. Move Mike's wife and Judy's daughter to Cuba. That way, Mike and Judy can't risk anything. They promise a seaplane at dawn so everyone can evacuate together. Douglas buys it completely and orders his men to pack up. Meanwhile, Mike's team loads up their gear. This mission's dangerous, but failure isn't an option. They have to rescue both hostages and wipe drug lord Douglas off the map. Once everything's set, they take the seaplane straight to Douglas's island base. Armando moves in underwater in a submersible, while Dorn and Lisa watch the perimeter. A drone streams the battlefield live. The plane reaches an abandoned amusement park. They spot a sniper up high and intel warns of another problem. The water around this park is full of gators. The seaplane starts its landing anyway. A man reaches the park first and sheds his gear. Locke's marched off the plane. Locke's the key, seeing him. Douglas comes out with the hostages and all his men. They don't see the trap. Mike's in the plane, sniper rifle ready. But watching the target close in, Will starts panicking. Then Douglas senses something and stops right on the pier. A second later, the water ripples. The crocodile is back, and it is swimming straight toward A-Man's hiding spot. Douglas sends his men to check it out, and for Will, this is the perfect shot. But he is too shaky to aim as the men close in, so A-Man has to fire first. That forces Plan B, full assault. Dorn's drone drops its payload. It blows the rooftop sniper sky high, and Will and Martin jump from the plane. They storm into the amusement park, but Mike's panic kicks in again. He starts losing control, and Martin's freaking out. Martin's pep talk works. Suddenly they're fearless, tearing through every shooter around them. Dorn's drone blows up their getaway cars, cutting off their escape. Amid the chaos, Locke forces the pilot to fly him out, but right after takeoff, Rita raises a rifle with a grenade launcher and blasts the wing. Instantly, the whole plane starts shaking violently. Armando shoots the gunman holding Kelly, but a second later, Douglas walks by holding Beth hostage. Will jumps off the building without hesitation. He cracks the glass below like a spiderweb. Then Martin jumps too. The croc smells blood and clamps onto Martin's arm. Will rips off a steel pipe. He dives in and hammers the croc's skull. It has never met anything this tough. As they try to leave, Douglas's men surround them. A man's left fighting the whole gang alone. Already injured, Armando takes hit after hit in the brutal fight. He takes everyone down, but he is barely standing, so Kelly helps him out. They reach a clearing outside the park while the others mop up dealers. Locke ambushes them, shooting Dorn in the arm, then sees Rita and hesitates. He is sure Rita won't shoot him. Wrong. Cops flood the scene, Judy leading them again. Then he spots his daughter's dropped bracelet and follows the blood trail. As Judy and Will close in on Douglas, Martin spots the beach from his dream. While he is frozen, a gun presses to his head. Will rushes over and sees Martin taken hostage too. Will's 2 closest people captured. Douglas gets cocky, telling Will to choose who dies first, saying that McGrath clearly doesn't know Mike. 1 second later, Douglas pays for underestimating him, while drops him on the spot. Meanwhile, Judy closes in on Armando, showing zero mercy to her father's killer. Right then, Kelly shields him, begging her mom not to shoot. Armando just saved her, her father's killer, but her daughter's savior, Judy's torn. She lowers her gun, and Kelly runs into her arms. Mike rushes over to check his son's wounds. Mike helps Armando onto a speedboat and hands him a card, head south, never look back. Watching him leave hurts, but Mike won't send his son back to prison. It was the only way in the end. Every charge against Captain Howard gets dropped. The bad guys all face justice, and Mike and Marcus keep the legend alive.